have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me on this evening's live. We have a lot to discuss. And like yesterday, I told everybody it was exciting at the time, but let's not get our hopes up because it doesn't seem right with the fact we were pumping. And even XLM took a while just to even start moving at all. But we knew the support levels after that artificial rise. And as I said to Felix last night and some who were wondering how we couldn't drop or why we didn't drop, we filled out a part of the formation. And now that same thing that we were fearing, that 12.5% drop from the rejection point, it was around 603. But with the recent movement and pushing back up that uptrending resistance line, it's right around the 609 mark that we could not get back above. And if you measure it down, it does suggest a 12.5 to 15% drop. Now the 12.5% is to get down to about the 53.3 cents, which is the technical drop. But I would say it can go down to about 50 cents because that's the bottom of the bullish handle. So why stop at 53.3 with the quick? Hell, why not take out 48 cent, that demand zone, or the supply zone, I should say, where the buyers are stacked in that area as well. So I could totally see us reversing down, like I said, at least another 12.5%. So I don't try to worry the audience, but at the same time, I'm not going to leave you out in the woods with no coat in the middle of winter without even a way to start a fire. At least have some kind of preparation for what's to come. I was very clear that I took out everything out of AMP and on a couple other things. So I was able to get a few profits out. I'm not selling XRP or none of the major ones, but the ones that were more the swing trade variety, we were able to capitalize in very short amount of time on AMP, especially was a big saving grace because you're taking profits. Out of my $7,300 that have been put in through various ways, I've been able to take out almost $5,000 through different moments over the last 9 months when we've had a swing trade, or different moments where we've had one go up and then it can be put somewhere else, but there's always leftovers. So there's really strategic ways. Just because I'm not selling XRP or XLM or XDC or the major ones that I like, DGB, ZIL, VChain, the very cheap ones, that doesn't mean there is an opportunity out there. XRP, if you're holding it, it's a long game. It's a long game. You got to wait for that one explosive move. This is standard operating procedure. And to me, this is where I think we're at our best. When everybody's wondering, when everybody's worrying, when everybody's ready to jump out the window, we're like, take a breath. Take a breath. Look at the bullish handle, guys. This had to happen. Take a look. It's been signaling this drop for the better part of a week. That's how we're able to stay out ahead. Now, just because whether you're in or out, there's moments of opportunity where if you're not in, you can expand. That's why I said I wouldn't be buying at 74. I told everybody a few days ago when it was at 62 and 65, I wouldn't even be buying there. Because it has this potential for this drop. And when it has the potential for the drop, I believe trading bots are in charge. So obviously we're going to go down there. That's also why they did what they did yesterday. And we talked about it yesterday on the fly. Let's not overreact here. But if we look at what they did on the fly, they absolutely, if you're not paying attention, they slit your throats. Excuse my graphic language, but that's what they did. Because look what they did. And we talked about this potential before it happened. That's why if you stay around in this community, I don't charge for anything, but left shoulder, right? If this was a head formation and this is a left shoulder, you're looking for that next hit on that resistance. And that's exactly what they did. It's so unbelievable how right in our face they put it. Down, right, to a head, back up to the resistance, and now down to the drop. I mean, it's so obvious what they just did. They suckered us in with the right shoulder. Well, not us, but they suckered. Last night, I told everybody not to leverage trade. I've been very transparent. Do not leverage trade because I felt like the last few days, especially the last better part of 2 weeks, it was a game they were going to play to liquidate the longs and the shorts simultaneously. And that's exactly what's happening. I think it's the biggest scam in crypto to have this leverage trading. I could see maybe doing up to 5x, and that's what they allowed. But the fact they allow you to 250x for the newcomers. Think of somebody who's like, I got $50 and I'm just going to go on a 250x, and who cares if I lose it? Well, have that mindset 20 times. Even over a course of, 15 weeks or 20 weeks. That's $1,000. That's $1,000 that you could have been accumulating, even if it was just $50. And everybody's like, oh, it's just $50. What can you build? You can build a lot. That's why we did Winning Wednesdays back late last summer when everything was I mean, from where we're at 50 to 75% cheaper, even more on some of it on the stuff we were doing during the Winning Wednesdays and FOMO Fridays. XRP, XLM, XDC, those were bought on their own. DGB was bought on its own, but you all were aware of when I was buying it, so you could have bought it at the same time. Back in March, because XRP hit its drop a little bit quicker than some, so did DGB. ZIL was close, VChain took a minute. HBAR took a while. Algo took forever, but it finally got to sub 10 cents like we wanted. So, but what can $50 a week build? Well, apparently a lot of people don't think it's worth a lot because they'll leverage trade it at such high stakes and lose it in 10 minutes. You know, take that $50 every time you have that instinct and throw it into a spot trade. So what? $50. See, here's the thing. A $500 trade on leverage, people will say, and this is the strategy, I'm not going to lose the entire trade, so I'm okay. I'm going to put a 10% stop loss. Well, that's fantastic. But if you put $8,000 into a trade, that's $100. If you put $500 into a trade, most people do a 20% stop loss. Let's not kid ourselves, because that's only a 2% move on a 10x or a 1% move on the most popular trade, which in crypto leverage is around 20x, is the most fundamentally popular one that people enjoy. Because they feel too risky. One side, too less of a risk. The other way, which is mind-boggling. But, so you figure even if you're off 20%, that's $200 on a grand. I mean, why not just put it into XRP at 58 cents? And so what, it goes down 20%. That's only the $200 you were willing to risk on a $1,000 leverage trade, and then you're happy because you didn't lose the entire 1,000, but yet not understanding the philosophy of building into a spot. That's why I've been so adamant right now. We're getting into a beautiful moment here if you haven't bought XRP. A beautiful moment. And we've got a lot to talk about here, including Bitcoin, how we knew it was rotating back down. When it got rejected at 73,700, it was over. We knew it. That was our technical target up here, and it hit it perfectly. That was the target after the breakout. We deleted those lines and everything because we had to put the relevance of the rising channel. And then we've even talked about the only way to hold is to hold 62,844. That's the only way to avoid that initial drop to 59,984, because that could give you a second burst of life and try to create what could be perceived, if it did that, and I'll do this for everybody to see, just one bigger M. It's just a bigger M. Let me turn this back blue so it's easier to see. But honestly, this would just be a bit, I'll just draw it in. This would just be a bigger M. If it were to make a bounce up and then it swings down, that's just a bigger M. That's it. It would just confirm that this pattern is even done. That would probably be the burst leading in. If we had something like that, that would probably be the burst into the halving and then good night. The factor on the outside of that is brutal. It's brutal. But that's why I said, if we're going to form something, you'd have to form a W like that, and I'm going to show the transparency. Otherwise, right to 59,000 area. Maybe even worse, but that's the technical drop from where we happen to fall out, and it just happened to stay on that course. So I would love to know what everybody thinks. Is it possible, or is it just straight down? Other than that, we're going to go very deep into XRP's chart, as we knew it was going to be a brutal day of slaughter. When I got off yesterday, y'all knew what we were coming back to, because I told Felix, I'll see you today. I mean, I'll see you tomorrow, because oftentimes, you know, we don't understand what we're saying, and we start to misunderstand the pattern that's involved. Just because you have fake outs, that's the easiest way for somebody to say, oh, see that pattern that Tom is saying that's going to happen. He's such a dummy. But then what do we do just 24 hours later? In the moment I was on here, I came on at the perfect time, front running the mini burst. And I said, is XRP going to have holders as a surge come? Or what did I say? I don't know how I phrased it, a surge or whatever, price surge. And that's what happened. But I also put in that same thing, what we had to hold, and we failed. Remember how disappointed I was at the close yesterday when I said we failed? Because I knew what was coming. You had one chance to break that narrative. Now the only chance you have is this 58.2 cent holds. And you can say, oh, well, somehow this cemented a double bottom from 58 back up to 67, back down to 58. Right? And this could be possible. That's why we're asking about Bitcoin. So don't give in yet. And don't give up if it does go down. And I'm going to give you an alternative here as well, since everybody wants to talk about meme tokens all the time in my chat. I told you I'd start coming up with gaming tokens ahead of the gaming convention that's coming up. Well, I said one yesterday, but I'm even more enamored with this one. And I've noticed people typing in the chat as well. So I've been doing my diligence, but we all remember Safe Moon long ago, Pika Moon. And I do have some knowledge with it because I was born in the 80s. So there was a comic book or whatever, how the story written about it, comics, where basically Pikachu went to space and yada yada yada. And we eventually got into a TV series, and now they've created a game that it's still pre-sale. It's on MEXC where you can buy it, and I do have a link to MEXC in the video description below and or pinned comments for the users outside of the USA anyhow. So I'm starting to accumulate into that. I said I would talk about it to myself when I hit the 50% roughly retracement from this little surge we had, and that's exactly what's happened. So we'll get into that. But they've raised $6 million so far, so it's very interesting. So if I'm guessing, the way that YouTube's starting to pick this up, the fact that 25,000 people are now following them on Twitter, I'm going to say it's probably going to be one of these in probably 5 to 6 months in the summer where it could be Talking Safe Moon Part 2, where early on the people were getting rich each and every day, but all of a sudden they dropped the hammer. This is a little different because it's got a little technology behind it, and there's a game obviously behind it as well, Pika Moon, but it's pretty interesting. So you don't just have to hold XRP. You can speculate. We're going to speculate here, and I'm going to buy a little bit every single day now that it hit the range. So we're going to go over that as well. So if you have that speculator mind and you're like, well, I'm sick of just waiting for XRP, there's a reason why I own 11 to 12 assets in crypto. Now it's down a couple because obviously, I got rid of AMP when it had the big pump. And I don't want to divulge into everything, but you know what I did. So anyhow, let's get into this. If you are watching, make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live because it's very important. And I'm going to give you a lot of options here tonight. We've only got 56 likes. If you're still on board with XRP and you believe in the utility in the future here, hit that like button. I want to see how many people are still on board with XRP. If you're on board with XRP and you're watching right now, hit that like button. It'll also allow YouTube to recommend this live. We're at 57 likes, so I want to see who's on board with XRP as I go through this intro, but we have a lot to talk about, including the fact that the SEC got blasted by a judge for gross abuse of power in another crypto case. So what does that have to do with XRP? Is there going to be any, is there going to be something beyond that affects XRP? Ripple. Then the Ripple CTO shares his expectations for XRP and the XRP AMM ahead of the March 22nd unveiling as it comes to the ledger. And then XRP triggers 125% volume surge amid market crash. So we'll see what's up with that. Assuming we can get through all of this, because obviously you can tell I'm very excited about this live because we have movement, and whether good or bad, as long as we understand what's coming from a fundamental standpoint, we shouldn't be nervous about it. So with that being said, let's get into the intro, and then we'll get in and divulge in all of this. Let's see if 138 people watching. Fantastic. And please, if you respect my work, hit that like button. There's nothing that can help my content more than you hitting that like button so YouTube will recommend this content. For the older viewers, for newer viewers that have not found their way in here yet, if you hit that like button right now while I'm doing the intro, it'll be recommended. And then when somebody's going through their YouTube feed, they'll be able to see it. It'll come up in the analytics. Imagine scrolling through the feed and you can't see me. Well, if more of you hit that like button, YouTube will be forced to share it through the feed because they like it in the algorithm and people are liking the lives. So with that being said, good evening. 6:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Tuesday, March 19th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So, once again, we're a little somber here with the price action, but not somber in our hearts. We understand what's happening right here in front of us. So we're gonna go over a lot. XR Raptor, let me get into the comments and then we're getting into this. XR Raptor, let's go. Wife is literally cooking that as we speak. Yes, we had our Taco Tuesday already. We already had dinner before. We actually had Nacho Tuesday, I suppose you could say. Sometimes we switch it up with nachos, but we do it every Tuesday. I have not tried delegating Flare yet, X Raptor, but I have definitely looked into it more and more now. I'm becoming more and more familiar every day. Lumen Drops, welcome in. Kryptonian, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 1 month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Lee Adams, good evening. Coffee and Crypto, welcome in. Yes, he says, howdy, future millionaires. Dillian Thomas, please, Lord Baby Jesus, let the price rise. Well, Unfortunately, my friend, you've seen a 10% drop almost so far, but we're going to see what we can do to hold this price or what needs to go. Does YouTube delay Tom's airing? No, Kryptonian. That's me putting a time, and then I put it out there so people can see when I'm going to be live. I used to just go live, but I like to put it on like 15, 20 minutes before I start. And then sometimes I'm a couple minutes late, but I'm trying to as accurately time when I'm going to come on. That's why I try to do it around 6:30 all the time. Angela, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. Appreciate that so much. Hi, everybody. I'm excited about the opportunity to accumulate more. Absolutely. Absolutely. Maul, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP Meteor. As it's not updating the comments right there. I'll get that. Oh, it does it all the time. UK Phil, welcome in. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Light Switch Tom, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Carpathian, welcome in along with Dylan Thomas. Matt Holden, thanks for being in Tom's Army for 6 months, plus with the XRP Predictor. Trading with J-Ride, welcome in, and thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 badge. 556 XRP on the table right now, everybody. 556, and then if that breaks, 53.3 roughly. If that breaks, 52.5 and possibly down to 50. A wick, who knows if it can expand. Nick, there was a nice leverage short opportunity to get in and out within 15 minutes or so, but I have zero experience with crypto leverage. Absolutely. Yesterday there was as well. It's just, there's always opportunities. It's just if you miss it by a second, you're done. Then you're liquidated. Let's see. EB, welcome in. Mike Stevenson, good evening, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 2 months with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News emoji badge. I wish YouTube would let us share screenshots to each other in chat. It would be cool, Nick. It would be cool, but we're kind of primitive here on YouTube, it appears. Your mom, welcome in. White Lotus, Simon, Brave Sigma, Tinku, welcome, and thank you, everybody. Yeah, it's right there. I set it up here. Tony Carter, welcome in, and thanks for being it. Mr. Carter from Mother Second Choice, as a matter of fact. Hashtag Mother Second Choice in the chat. Hashtag M2C. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 badge, as he's in the Outback somewhere creating his music. Brave Sigma, welcome in. Jeffrey McGuler, welcome in. Thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months now with the XRP Predictor. We're caught up here now, finally. Jorge, welcome in. John Page, Cat D, welcome. That at 0.02982 sweet spot, then XRP. Yes, indeed, Cat. Good area for VeChain as well. VeChain does need to come down a little bit. That should put ZIL somewhere down around the 2-3 level if this plays out properly. So there's going to be a chance here. There's going to be a chance. And Kat, thank you for sending some info to me recently through email. I greatly appreciate you, love. John Page, welcome in. JW, good evening, and thank you for being in Tom's Army for over 1 year, my friend. With the I Told You So badge. Marvin Davis, welcome in. Lumen, XGTT, and JIOV, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XP 589 badge. What's up, my brother? Carpathian, thank you so much for tuning in. So the reason I do that is I like to say hi to everybody when I start, but then as we go, I might lose track. It's just something I like to do. I go through a big generalization before I even do the intro with the time, just so that everybody can get on the same page and we can see what we have from a fundamental understanding. Tommy, Mama's almost ready. Good boy. My son's about to go for a car ride. I can't go because I'm doing a live, but he's been doing better and better. Come here, buddy. You gonna go out for a ride with Mama? Thank you. You want to zip it up? You got it? Okay. Yeah, Mama's coming. Here, come here. Yeah, come here. But anyhow, so XRP, if we do get rejected here, it would be at right at the 60.8 cents. That's where we had to come up. Unfortunately, we got rejected twice. And now if we come through, we technically, it's going to be tough to hold this. That technical drop wants to bring us down. And like we've said before, this pattern's been predicted every drop. So we came up, dropped to the uptrending support. Came up, down to the uptrending support. Came up, down to the uptrending support. XRP likes to do this until it finally breaks out. Bye, Scarlett. Bye, Michaela. I'll see you both Thursday. Yes, Thursday. TT, I'll see you when you get back, buddy. So I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. It feels like it wants to retest down there. It really does. In the grander pattern, this is the November of 2021 formation, and it's been holding this. It's been following it. Feels like it's following XLM. Yeah, XLM is, we've broken down here. So XLM, it's probably going to come. If XRP makes that move, I would not be surprised to see XLM retesting that 10.8. These are head and shoulders patterns put in. Now you got to come back to the supply zone. But it's going to clear out a lot of room here. It's going to clear out a lot of room. Now, my big concern here is there's two ways Bitcoin can take this, and I showed it yesterday. I'll continue to keep it up. But it's either it's going to drop down and not bounce out of here, and it's going to come down to 59,984. And then if it can't hold that, and that's the technical drop point, then it's got to come back. See, this is a good example again, ladies and gentlemen, of one thing. When you get into a rising formation like this, and I'm calling it a rising channel, you can call it whatever you want, because a lot of people will say a different interpretation, but I can only interpret it the way my mind works. I taught myself technical analysis, so there is no rhyme or reason, and I am not a financial advisor, so what in the hell do I really know at the end of the day? But resistance started here, right? Resistance support, that's where that rising channel started, in my opinion. So if you fail, we've already rejected, you come back to the start of the channel. That should put us anywhere between, where's this at? If you come all the way back down where the channel started, it's right here. 50, and that just happens, and like this is what I mean. Without the trading bots doing all of this, how do you get these technical setups like this where it automatically breaks right into that zone? You know, and again, what did we just create with Bitcoin? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We've already talked about this so many times that we were creating a topping reversal. We knew once we hit that 73,700, if we didn't immediately break up and break over that or retest that area, it's starting to come down. And once we got rejected, we said, uh-oh, here we go. That was 70,500. Get ready. The technical target's 59,984. They will go left and right, up and down. They'll drop your pants, make it feel good. Make you think everything's going to be okay. And before you know it, well, Miss Bobbitt walks in, so to say. And for anybody who was around back in the 90s, you know what I'm talking about in the USA. So that's about the best I can put it. And now we can clearly see this. And what did I always say with Bitcoin? I had a very hard time believing that Bitcoin's not going to retest that broadening wedge breakout point as support at least one time. The fact that it was such a massive broadening wedge, it's hard to believe that we were just going to be able to do this without doing anything else. Exactly. See, yes, exactly. That's the correlation I was making too. As much as nobody wants to face it, XRP seems to be a stable coin. And the fact that Bitcoin will be at 50,000, XRP will be at 50 cents now. Bitcoin's at 75,000, XRP's at 75 cents. It seems to be a correlation to the thousands to the pennies for XRP. Until it divulges, that's what it seems to be. But that's why I say, you've got to be in the mindset. You can have speculation on other tokens. I get that. That's what you should be doing. But with XRP, if you hold it during an accumulation cycle, you got to hold it. And then you might get a bunch more chances to keep accumulating. It's just for us, we had that one pop deal here in 23 where we put the whole shebang at 34.6 on that uptrend. I had no idea of knowing if it was going to hold. And now it's still ba-boom, 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 bouncing up and down, left and right. Mike Tyson's in and out of this ring. You know, but you have to try to somehow hold these. You got to bob and weave. But that's why I think it's such a nightmare to leverage trade. So what I'm deciding to do is I have the urge to leverage trade. So you know what my leverage trading is? Pikamoon now. That's going to be my leverage trading, but I'm buying it in spot. Haven't done anything yet because I had to talk to the audience first. But and then we're swinging back into some reading. But I'm going to, for one split second, This came all the way up here a few days ago. And I said at 50%, I kind of, yeah, it did 50%. So I achieved my goal. Because I was hoping that everybody would pay attention. And maybe by the time it comes down 61%, maybe that's a new defined uptrend here. And then we can start moving. On the 22nd, you could get fireworks because the launch happens with the actual game. So it's actually it's a big thing everybody's waiting for. So I'm actually pretty anxious to see what happens here. But I've been watching these wicks. I've been watching. And I said, you know what? Everybody wants to be a speculator. Go ahead and speculate. So we'll see what happens there day by day. And we'll get into that more and more. Clint says, good evening, Tom. I can't begin to express my gratitude to you and your TA videos. I've gained over $10,000 over the last 4 months, all thanks to you. Wow, Clint, thank you so much. I really appreciate that, my friend. I really do. And like, that's why I put out everything. I don't hide behind a paywall because I believe the audience, as you see, there's a pay it forward moment right here. Puentes donates $24, says, appreciate everything you do, brother. Tom, looking to pick up some Casper, Jasmine, and CRO. What would be good targets to buy them in your opinion? I can show you Casper. I'm not up to date on Jasmine or CRO. So, but Casper, I can definitely help you with tonight, my friend. But yeah, that's why I always say, pay it forward by either joining Tom's Army, everybody, or one time per month. Find it in your heart to send a YouTube super chat. That's literally all I ask because I don't do any of that paid promotion. I don't push products. The most I'll ever tell you is get ready for this drop. BITUNIX is in the comments, pinned comments below, video description below. They're not down during the high times of volatility. I've got about $2,500 on there currently. And it could go higher soon, but it depends how much I'm willing to actually put there for moments of opportunity. I'm trying to snipe here. So if I find a snipe here, we're all going to know. But I need to do it in high times of volatility, so I need an exchange that's going to be up. Uphold, I tried to snipe last night, and everybody knows how pissed I was. Caused me to take $2,500 off their exchange now that I had in liquidity. Moved it elsewhere. Because I went to buy AMP last night, and it was a moment of opportunity, and it was down at about 8.9 cents. As I said, where did I say I was going to take a chance? Once it got sub 9 cents, I said it when I sold at 1.7 cents after I bought in at just under a half a penny. Fortunately for us, we got about a 3-day move where it went up almost 330% roughly. But we were trying to snipe it again, and look how much Uphold cost me. I was going to put the 100,000 tokens back on it, and now it's up 20% almost from where I was going to do it. It actually had a beautiful rally. I knew what I was talking about. And Uphold screwed me. It was not working for me, and then by the time it came back on, it was back over a penny, and I was pissed. And that was at like 3 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning, sometime early this AM. All I know is it pissed me off because it finally did what I needed to. Obviously, all these exchanges are different, but they don't have upholds on here. But so it's really frustrating. So I'm trying to save myself that pain, but not just that. The fees on uphold are extraordinary. So BITUNIX, they've never gone away from XRP in high times of volatility. They have leverage in spot trading. I prefer you to spot trade, but hey, we all have our own demons. And that you don't need a VPN. Like, don't feel guilty for trading XRP or your favorite crypto, but get everything situated now before the drop. Get the funds where you need to do it, and at least click the link in the video description below or pinned comments, just so you can get it set up. I'm telling you, from my experience to yours, it's a lifesaver. Imagine wanting to buy something on the dump and not being able to do it because the exchange, like Uphold, and Kraken, and Binance, and freaking all of them, Coinbase, OKX, they're always down. All of them. I've been on them all. I've seen them all. I've watched them all. That's why last year in July, when everything's down, everybody's complaining. One person in the comments said, well, my BITUNIX is always up. I'm like, what the hell is BITUNIX? It changed my life since that person made that comment. I'm so disappointed in myself for not knowing about it sooner. So anyhow, I always get frustrated, but that's what I'm Yeah, exactly. Trading with J-Ride. And you know, that's exactly. And I came on this morning and I was irritated about it because I can't deal with it anymore. So now I've got the collateral there on BITUNIX. So if I get that moment again, I'm buying AMP. I believe it's on BITUNIX. Either that or it's on MEXC, because I know I seen it on one. So we'll see. But anyhow, let's get going here. Let's get going. So, what do we got to go through here next? And BITUNIX is adding a whole bunch of pairs all the time. I know they have maintenance at some point today again to upgrade the pairs, which is probably not a bad idea. We're going to have to add more liquidity pools here going forward. But anyhow, 58.5 cents down 9.2%. And we're just going to see here. And what I was talking about at the opening, ladies and gentlemen, and please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're only 8 subscribers away at the start of this live from 21,000. I think it'd be pretty cool to hit 21,000 during the live. Michael Wallace. You thought the drop was 51 cents. Are you saying because I said 53.3? So here, let me go over this again, everybody, because Michael might have came in late. So as low as 50 cents, as low as even 48 cents is at the bottom of this handle. Let me make this bigger. 50 cents at the bottom of the handle. We've speculated that as low as 48 if it wants to grab that liquidity. But the reason why I'm saying 53.3 cents, that's just the technical target out of the drop. That in no way is as low as it can go, but I'm trying to show hold on, sorry, I'm trying to put this back. The technical target from the drop point of the failed pattern right now. So that's where we get the importance of that. We've got a failed pattern right now, and technically it's suggesting the technical target is 53.2 cents. And that's also the bottom of this formation on the November of 2021. But what I can say, is that, you know, it could flow past this if we want to come back to the bottom of the handle. So yeah, technically it's, I think it can go as low as 50, 51 cents like you're saying as well. But if we drop out of these zones, it could be a problem. This is what I want everybody to understand. If XRP breaks down that handle and it comes below it, it's an issue. You don't want to break this handle. So you have the further cup, the handle formed. The green part's what you really have to make. That's the full handle. But as long as you're underneath the yellow part of the handle, that resistance instead of the green. So if you're in between the yellow and green, that's your chance to try to break out. If you're underneath the yellow, that means you're more than likely coming back to a supply zone. And in this case, the supply zone would be the bottom of the handle support, which right now would give us a third tap at around 51 point. It's speculative. Somewhere between around 51 cents. But that doesn't mean a wick can't bring you to 48. But if we do invalidate this structure, it would be interesting. No, BITUNIX is not down. It has scheduled maintenance tonight. Or it's been in scheduled maintenance. But yeah, I was telling people about this the last couple days. Bad timing. See, I told you, all the markets know. All the markets know. Oh, well, I mean, if you want them to update pairings, you have to put the exchange down to upgrade pairings. So, you know, if you know a way to upgrade things, just like when you have an update on your game, favorite game, you got to go down before you upgrade it. I've talked about the upgrade in trading pairs. I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want me to say about it. Every exchange does it. It's the only way to add trading pairs. So that's something you deal with being on an exchange. But anyhow, with the price of XRP, the more important thing here is we're looking at this drop right now, and we're looking to see if we can fulfill this to 51 to 52 cents. What I want to do here, though, while we're doing this, well, they might, but I always say it's suspect the way exchanges always seem to upgrade their pairings and things during the time of a drop. So am I surprised? No. But did we know it was coming? Yes. But does that also put into the fact that we know drops are coming likely? They always seem to add pairs when liquidity comes. So I always read into things on exchanges. At the same time, though, does it make me happy? No. But it is what it is. We had the notice in from a couple days ago. It's in our mailboxes saying that there was scheduled maintenance. So there's nothing I can do about it. They're upgrading the pairs. But it's like I say, it's a game of scam with crypto. A lot of times it feels like we're in a game of Russian roulette. You know? And that's why I always say we're trying to accumulate before the big runs up, because it's so hard to buy and sell during the actual moments. And then not just that, if you can sell, like if I go on Uphold right now and I try to sell something, I'm like, uh-oh, we're about to go down another 10%. They're going to give me a high spread, just like a lot of the other exchanges, and that's also bothersome. So it's like, where do we win? It's so hard to win in this game. Is it not? Especially with what we've learned about the trading bots as well, with the GSR trading bots from 2016, 2017. I love XRP like the next guy, but, you know, I got to call bullshit sometimes when I see it, and that's why we did what we did a few weeks ago. The fact that in 2016, 2017, we had that massive price surge, and what did they say? They turned off the selling via the trading bots and their big their big partners. They would advise them via trading bots when to put the money in to avoid the big dips. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Like, I keep looking at this, like, with Bitcoin, is it going to be just, this isn't just, like, yeah, we have this big cup. Now, what if this handle, what if it did come way down? What if we do come down to 38 to 42,000? I can almost guarantee that would mean that XRP would invalidate this handle formation, and that would almost guarantee us a retest of that uptrending support. And that's the overall pattern. Like, this is the other thing that's playing in my head. Like, how big of an opportunity are we really going to get here? That's a massive reversal candle. Like, am I confident that we're not coming down here like I've told everybody not to buy? If it's on the rise and you buy the dip, not just the dip, but you buy, where did I say the number one area to buy? And this is just my personal opinion. As close to this uptrending support as you can get. And for the newcomers, I'm going to show you why. And this is how we based our decision after selling out in 2021 at $1.66. This is how I knew where to buy. Buy the dip, says Light Switch Tom with the $2 donation. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. So, with this, we had up here at the all-time highs. And again, this is when the trading bots were not allowing the sales, ladies and gentlemen. So what do we make of this push? This is because there wasn't as many sales, and we're starting to learn this. Instead of having the overall sales being put in, they didn't allow it. They shut that part of it off, and they were telling their partners to buy every one of those dips when it looks like it was about to happen, so it could continue to go up in a straight line. Well, now we come back. That's 2018. Right down here where this first circle is, where this arrow is, that's when the uptrend started 27 months ago, the very uptrend I'm still speaking of right now. That started in 2020 in March. Then we had the lawsuit announced right here in December of 2020. Had a volatile swing back down to the uptrend for the second hit of support, which you need volatility to support it. So we can see if it's true. Then we proceeded to come up here in 9 days. We went from 59 cents to $1.98 in 9 days was our whole rally. The entire of XRP's rally in 21 was 9 days. Everybody can say what they want. The rest has been a downturn even until now, except for this recent reversal in early to mid 23. So then we came all the way back down, held that uptrend again at 28.6 in 22, held it again at 30 cents in 23, 34 cents or 33, 35, somewhere in there in 23. So that uptrend is telling us as close as you can get to that uptrend, nothing's been able to keep us from breaking that uptrend, period. Nothing's been able to break that uptrend. So it makes it very interesting if we're going to come back down here now, if it breaks down. But we have so much stuff to hit through there. That's why we have the other formations on different charts. That's why I deal with 3 charts as of today. Because this is the overall formation. And this still suggests if this plays out true, this goes until the end of this year. And we knew even if we were bearish, what did I keep saying? From 48.8 cents. When I told everybody if you weren't in yet, there's your opportunity and you can do whatever you want in 40% or 35 to 40%. If we are bearish, we would still have to hit 75 cents. It's part of the third hit. And then if we get rejected and we fall through the handle, then we would know, if a cup and handle we were projecting, then we would know that the consolidation would continue until at least the end of this year. At worst. As long as it stayed in this formation. If you fall down, then you have to go back from the 2020 or the 2018 formation and slip down to the 2017 uptrend. You fall through that, it's the 2013 uptrend. So we're not hiding anything here. So you can just look at this each and every day and make an educated and informed decision on the path we're in. We need to do better on the likes, though. I believe for what I'm doing here tonight, the information I give, I think I like the 130 likes, but I think we can do a lot better. If you respect my time, because it's extraordinary amount of time I put in and effort, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube recommends my live and I can continue to expand this beautiful audience. The only way we're going to do this right is if we have the most eyes possible and the most wisdom around. And we have to be truthful. Bandito422, thank you so much for the $9.99 late, but I'm here. Smash the likes, people. Yes, indeed. And Bandito, thank you so much for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. I greatly appreciate that show of support. So that's the 2020, or that's the overall pattern. And now look at the importance of this. So if that's the overall pattern, now that we lower, bring it back down into a smaller time frame, now you see the importance, if it comes down, why this uptrend is so important. If all these layers break down, technically your floor, even in this scenario, if we believe this pattern is going to hold, and it has for 77 months, if we believe it's going to hold, if everything came to fruition and it was the worst case scenario with this head and shoulders, I'm not joking, you can see it. You can see it. XRP Stu, thank you for the $10 donation as well. I really, really appreciate that as well, my friend. I really appreciate that. Wow. What a show of support tonight, even with the drop. Even with the drop. I must admit, I have a headache tonight too, so it's pretty interesting. My head's been hurting me a little bit today. But still, I'm still trying to put this out and give as much information as I can and as much, as I can, as much as I can handle here. I'm in here for a minute. Great analysis. Thank you so much for that $1.99 donation as well. I gotta see that again so I don't mess up the name. But that's a left shoulder. That's a head. Popped up to a right shoulder last night. So what does that mean? Well, we gotta find the right pattern so that we know. Beautiful pattern. You know why? Oh yeah, rising channel resistance, everybody, from June of 2022. The very thing that we failed now 4 times popping over. And this is going to be the hard one. Tommy Gun Z, thank you so much for that, friend. Thank you so much for sticking around and being here for the $1.99 donation. Do you think this is a planned drop until rise up once, FOMC, when we see a rise? Well, on Wednesday, what is it, Wednesday or Thursday? They announced the rate hike and or stay the same or rate cut. If you see a rate cut, we could get expansion. If you don't see them cutting rates, the stock market's got a rate cut priced in. So if we don't get a rate cut, could get some turnover here. So I wish Felix was here tonight, because Felix was bagging on me because he said I was wrong about the drop. And I said, Felix, nothing's changed, my friend. We just had to come up to the right shoulder. We just had to come up for the rejection. It almost would have been too easy of a short yesterday. Loving the correction, everybody trying to catch the bottom without understanding the full extreme downside to alleviate. Exactly. Exactly. And most of the people that are stressed out right now are the ones who are fed by the bottom, by the dip, back in 21 when the dip hadn't even started. I told everybody the dip couldn't happen until it was sub 50 cents in 21 after that big drop. And it didn't materialize until almost mid through 22 and then that drop. Because I knew the real uptrend, you had to buy it as close to that uptrend. And in today's terms, it's at 38 cents. So if you're far away from that, it puts you on the plus side of town. And yeah, 50 cents is a good buy, but it's always telling you you're probably about 15 to 18% overvalued right now, according to the fact that we seem to, over the last 77 months, always come down for that uptrend before any kind of major rally. So I didn't say the markets would drop on a rate cut. I actually said the opposite, sir. I said if they don't cut rates, the Dow is going to drop because it's pricing in a rate cut. No, we want to see a hike in rates. If you want me to be real with you, we want to see a rake in heights. Otherwise, all this inflationary pressure doesn't do anything for us. It doesn't do anything for us. If we keep the rates the same, what the hell good does that do us? I'm not saying this to you. I'm saying this to our government. But what does that do for us? We're not fixing nothing. We need to have interest rates at 15 to 20% right now. Don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, it's going to suck for all of us, but it's going to suck even worse for our damn kids or all of you that are in your 20s. I'm only at 40 right now. By the time I'm 45, I don't know what we're looking at. It's never been more expensive to live than it is right now. And it sucks. Like I keep saying, my tax bill for my house went up from $5,000 a few years ago. Now it's up to $8,200 this year for the year. You know, so, but anyhow, so I'm not going to continue. I got to be good because I don't want to incite the wrong mojo, but we got a problem here with all of this. You know, everything's meeting its inflection point. And it makes me also look a little bit closer with the crypto, like what's really going on here? Are we about to have some epic proportional collapse here as well? As we talked about, we knew the reversal was coming, but now the question is what's the real pain? If that was a real blow off the top for Bitcoin, and there's something deeper behind this, I mean, how far can this really correct? That's the question. Because that was a heck of a run-up. That was a heck of a run-up. And like I said, when the wave 3 was ending at 75, and I said this very well could be starting the corrective wave 4, I was serious. That's how I came up with saying XRP could have some volatility if we don't break 75. Because if we're starting the correction here, that hit of support, that resistance, technically on an overzealous move could bring you all the way down to 38 cents. See, some people micromanage what I say in my content because they can't be here all the time, and they hear me say one small portion of the longer view. Because, yeah, in the short term, sure, 51 cents or 50 cents should cap any downside. But in the longer term that's played out for 77 months, the cap any downside should be around 38.4 cents if you look at it from the grand scale. Like, I don't know what XRP is going to do if Bitcoin comes to 55 or 56. It doesn't seem like it's going to be able to sustain much up here near 60. So if it does have another 10,000 point drop here, 8,000 points, we got to pay attention here to that 38 cents. You know, I do come on here and sound the alarm a lot, and I did with Bitcoin when it got to the top here again. And I said, watch out here at 73,700. Unless we break and hold that and make some kind of exhaustive end run to like 82 or 89 in some cases, we never went down to consolidate enough for a push to 130 or 150 like most are asking. We need an absorbent handle to build enough pressure here to just explode out here. But my big take here, and I don't know what to think, and it's part of the reasons why on some of these bigger trades I made, I did decide to sell all out wholesale. And I did decide to take back almost $5,000 worth of investment money out of profits the last few months. So now it's really a $2,300 risk, even though my portfolio has all the big players still. It's still well over $12,000. Or 13,000, about 12,000 right now. Maybe 13. But it's not 20 or 18. You know, there's something, I'm thinking something in my head right now is wrong right now. Something's wrong. Like something's not adding up. Like, let's be honest here. Something's not right. And the one thing that bothers me is that ETF with Bitcoin. Remember, when you're buying Bitcoin through an exchange, they can just fleece the books. It's no different than us saying that we have gold reserves in the vault. We don't have shit in the vault. Whoops. Just like when Tether's printing money, they don't have shit back in Tether. It's just like printing money. Or, I'm sorry, currency. The US dollar. It's like printing it. There's nothing back. Who cares? It's paper. Well, the good thing about that for Tether is it makes the exchanges go around. You know why? Because with Tether, if somebody buys Bitcoin and they sell it, most exchanges just pay them out in Tether. You ever wonder why most exchanges only use Tether? USDT? Sure, you can convert Tether back into the US dollar, but if they're selling Bitcoin into Tether, that means they can always have the liquidity for the buy and sell. If you buy it on an ETF, they got to come up with real currency, real dollars. They can't give you some fake. They got to come up with real dollars on the sale, so that's going to influence the price of Bitcoin even more. So what happens with all these ETF holders that bought it in the beginning and now we have this huge pump? Now the inverse ETF is looking good, like old Vincenzo Gold Crypto Investing talked about. As I brought up once a couple days ago, I like to watch the work, but I'm just saying there's suggestions here of what you can do. So yes, I'm a long holder for XRP since this time around in 23, and it's going to be longer than this. But at the same time, my head's spinning right now thinking like, obviously we're going to have one gigantic retest up at some point. So don't think that you're not going to get a chance back at 63 or 65, even if this whole thing comes unglued. You might not get 75, but if it snaps to 50, obviously there's going to have to be some kind of rebound back up, and then they could drop and slaughter. But it's something strange here. Something strange here, because even when you look at the relative strength, the fact that it shoots up so much on small pumps, or shoots back up into overbought, but then on the dumps, it seems to trickle back into overbought. It's a theme I've been noticing. It's almost like they're getting ready to drop the hammer on us like we've never seen before. So I keep saying unless, and I'm very bullish until this handle breaks. When this handle breaks, I reevaluate. If the handle doesn't break, very bullish. Because there's no more bullish formation than the handle on the cup. If it breaks, there is no more bearish trend than breaking that long-term handle that was formed on the cup. And this handle's been going since July of 23. That's my exact problem. I love the accumulation cycle. Like with AMP, I planned on holding it for a little while here. But I bought it at just under half a penny, and in 3 days it went up 330%. So I sold it, all of it. All of it. You know, that's where the temptation becomes a lot, like XRP right now. It feels good. It feels good because it's still accumulating. The lower it goes, the better, because then I can get better deals if it goes below my buy-in. The moment it shoots up like in 2021 and I see things are ending, I'm very quick to get out. But nothing's happened yet. There's nothing to get out of. You know, just the taxes alone at 35%. Now I got to come up with that money. And if crypto's crashing, now I got to take the money out of the account if you don't have it, just to go pay your taxes. And who knows where you buy back in. Or if you miss a crash and it goes back up. I mean, crypto's volatile for a reason. But the one disservice we've had done to us right now is when Bitcoin looks like it's in an all-time bull market because it went to all-time highs. None of the cryptos and the major rotation like Solana went up, but guess what's going to happen to the Solana holders now? That's the biggest bump and dump scam coin on the market because all of the manipulators like to dump their money into it. That's the big secret. If you can get into Solana cheap enough, you're golden, but you better get out at the top, otherwise it's going to come right back down. You know? It's just like that with a lot of tokens. XRP appears to be the same way, except in a smaller sense. So, let's move on here, though. Like I said, though, until we break certain supports, I am very happy. I'm very structurally sound in this. XRPH, by the way, been doing research on this. It's interesting. That's XRP Healthcare. It's the first digital pharma / like clinic on the XRP ledger. So it's basically bringing the world of healthcare, and it's going to help in third world countries a lot more in the advancement. So that's something that I'm pretty interested in to watch. But just for my own take here, not anywhere it's at right now. Shit's going to have to come all the way back here to maybe sub 1 penny before I can even care. Sorry, but that's the truth. Once it comes under a penny, I'll keep talking about this to everybody, but this is one to watch. As it's pretty new still, and it's trying to find its way for the last year or two. So just pay attention to these. So I'm always throwing out sneak peeks, but right now, HBAR under 10 cents. Again, we know the technical target for HBAR. If it loses this area, it's pain at the pump. Down to 7.3 cents. And honestly, this is an area where if we're not going to pump here, we've got a lot of pain to go. So we broke out of the ascending formation. An ascending formation breakdown means we're coming down to about 7. So in my opinion, if you ran that run with us last year and this breaks, I would not blame you if you sold right here and took 100% and then tried to buy it down some 30% cheaper. I would not hold it against you in this scenario. Even though, you know, because that's $500 right there from just that drop there, or that's 250. You know, I couldn't kill you, but understand, like, if we hold these retests, we're going to have some very, very, very big drops here. Yeah, the AMM CJ2 pilot's supposed to start on the 22nd here. Speaking of the AMM, we'll get into one bit of reading. I don't think I'm going to get into the SEC reading because I've already been talking way too long to keep reading all this. So either later today or tomorrow on the live, we'll go over the SEC blasted by the judge in another case. And this surge in volume, I don't really care about, honestly. It's a surge in selling volume, so we can already see it. So Ripple CTO shares its expectations for XRP and the XRP AMM. And we're about 3 days out from this right now, from it going live. So Ripple CTO David Schwartz recently clarified the use of XRP and other assets on the upcoming XRP ledger, XRP AMM, with the XRP ledger automated market maker, AMM. And if you're looking to sell out of stuff, please, for your own sake, when you get big bounces like this, you should expect on the next cycle tomorrow, we might be able to get a retest of some of these drops. Remember, we've dropped 10% across the board. So wait for the retest. So what I'm saying is maybe you're going to get that retest of 63 on XRP or something in between, or like Bitcoin. Maybe this is where you get the retest, but maybe it goes to 59 first. But somewhere there's going to be a volatile swing back before the next leg down. So if you're looking to sell out, you're going to have to catch that next rebound up to get the best pricing. Otherwise, you've already waited too long if that's the plan. You know, if you drop another 5% from here before we have the next rebound, who really gives a damn? But with how it's going to go, I could totally see us as low. That's why I said 48 to 52, but the opportunity at 38.4 cents could be there. It could be there. But we definitely need to retest one more time. The formation formed. So we're definitely going to get a retest on this entire crypto pool. But if that retest is rejected, you better be on your toes. And we don't know how far we're going to go first before the retest. But be on your toes if you're looking to sell out before the next real corrective wave from 3 to 4. Because right now, as I speculated yesterday, we had about 3. That makes 4 now. So you have 5 waves inside of 3 to 4 on painful drops, in my opinion. So up, first drop, we could say was 1, 2, 3. No, I don't even know if that would work. We go 1, 2, or this is 1 to 2, up to 3, up to 4, up to 5. Maybe that's how it does it. Maybe that's how it does it. If we would need to have one more little fake out here at some point, and then that could be the next part of this fifth. That's basically the 5 steps of death, is what I like to call it. When you go from a wave 3 to 4 correction, it's basically like you're supposed to do it with X's and O's, Toms. Common coach. Oh, yeah, time you think it's going up, it just drops more. But you got to have 5 impulses of that on 3 to 4. So 1 here, so top, boom. Then you think it's coming back up, so that's 1. 2's here, think it's coming back up, so maybe you could say 2. Comes back down, gives you hope. Back up here, either that's 2 and 3 or just 2. Comes back down somewhere, gives you hope, right? And more than likely, drops down somewhere, gives you hope. Who knows? 1, 2, 3, 4, or 4, 5. But there's 5 panes of death there. Now, if that's only 3 right there, and then this is 3, like 1, 2, 3, 4. That means that's what I'm saying. Like, if this is for real, we got to start paying attention here. I only talk about the Elliott wave when it's important. Don't think I don't know it because I don't talk it, but everybody on YouTube always uses it, and then they forget the real technical analysis. They always forget as well when they put the Fibonacci lines. You can actually do real TA outside of the stupid Fibonacci box. You know, I'd like to see how the Fibonacci got to where it's going. So, anyhow, let me keep reading. So, Ripple CTO David Schwartz recently clarified the use of XRP and other assets on the upcoming XRP ledger, XRP AMM. With the XRP automated maker AMM feature set to go live in the next 3 days, discussions around its functionality and features have enveloped the XRPL community. Leading to the multiple speculations. One such speculation is the AMM only works with XRP. In a recent post on X, David Schwartz addressed an inquiry from a community member seeking clarification on whether the forthcoming AMM would exclusively support XRP pools or accommodate multiple assets. The uncertainty stems from the fact that most reports on the AMM feature focus on XRP. For instance, the Crypto Basic has reportedly highlighted the potential for XRP holders to earn passive income from their assets when they deposit them to liquidity pools on AMM instances. However, few discussions exist around this prospect for other assets, prompting a belief that the feature might only support XRP. In addition, last November, Ripple's lead product manager, Jasmine Cooper, stressed that the AMM could help bolster XRP's utility, further adding to the growing speculation. So Ripple CTO provides clarification. Responding to the recent inquiry, Schwartz confirmed that the AMMs would support not only XRP but also other cryptocurrencies. The Crypto Basic has periodically highlighted this fact. According to the Ripple CTO, market participants can generate any AMM instance with 2 crypto assets supported by the XRP ledger. This could include Core/XRP, Furry/USD, or even CSC/RPR. The only criterion is that both assets are on the XRP ledger. So Ben Rogers said, "Hi David, is AMM just for XRP or will it open to the other assets in time? Thanks." And David Joel Katz Schwartz has verified Twitter, now X. AMMs can be created with any 2 assets supported by the XRP ledger. I suspect AMMs were one of those assets in XRP will be the most popular, but that's just my expectation. However, David Schwartz stressed that he expects XRP to dominate the pools despite the liberty of market participants to trade other assets. He asserted that AMM pools where one of the assets is XRP would most likely be the most popular. Julie, do you want to relax? You want to grab one of those big ones? Mm-hmm.
The one?
Yep. Whichever one. We're going to relax together, too, because Julie is, she's going to be going away for a minute. I feel like she's going to get off her foot probably soon. Am I right?
Yeah.
I know you're trying.
I was up early.
I know you were. You got up at 5, right? Yeah. Julie's a Wonder Woman. She's a miracle worker. But anyhow, projected impact on XRP. Nonetheless, Schwartz does not see the benefit of this practice as it would result in selling pressure. Panos Mekres, founder of Anados Finance, echoed this, stressing that if Ripple only provided XRP for AMMs, the move would be bearish for the asset. Agreed. Meanwhile, the implementation of the AMM functionality is slated for March 22nd. That is just 3 days from now. 7 days, you can light it. 7 days after the amendment regained minimum validator consensus on March 15th.
Or do I need to go down?
You are going to have to get one, my love. Because I don't see it. Do you? Maybe it's on the table or the counter? Okay. Let's see. 22 on March 22nd, 7 days after the amendment regained the minimum validator consensus on March 15th. On-chain sleuth Mr. Huber believes XRP's price could drop following the implementation of the feature, citing Stellar's history. So we'll see what happens here. So I wanted to bring that to light just because somebody was asking, but I actually had that as one of the things I could talk about tonight. So we're going to see what happens here. We got the daily close in 22 minutes. Right now, we seem to have hit that double bottom. Well, close to it, not quite. I mean, if it reversed back here, we would just know that's a bearish reversal. It didn't come down quite far enough to make us feel bullish on the reversal. But make no mistake, we're probably going to have something happen here. I'm so deep in this rabbit hole. I smell giants. Yeah, I know, with the blah, 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 it all does make sense now, doesn't it? The XRP Bitcoin pairing. I mean, XRP, every time it seems to want to start making a move on this pairing, as we have a bullish cross here, it is signifying XRP to have a move here. As long as this isn't invalidated, we are looking for a move in relation to the price of Bitcoin. Now, does that mean they both drop and XRP drops slower? We don't know. But something's certainly building up here. Something's certainly building up here. I know some people left during the reading, which I don't understand. And I know some people were talking about BITUNIX, but they're already back online now if you're looking. I knew the maintenance, it was a very short maintenance. But I figured I would give it a chance to get through it. I thought it was going to be done by 7:15, 7 o'clock, but apparently that wasn't the case. But now I'm back on, and it seems to be working just fine. So apparently they got those added pairs, so let's see what it says. BITUNIX, it said it was at 7:01:36. Upgrade on Tuesday, March 19th. This is the notice we got. So upgrade period, yada, yada, yada. So it was only expected, so it was 15 minutes. Yeah, so it lasted 15 minutes. So it lasted 20 instead of 15. That's why I was a little thrown off when I went to get on, because it said 15 and I knew it was outside that window. So it was about 30 minutes, they said, okay. It seems a fluid than other. Yeah, it is. It definitely, there's more liquidity on BITUNIX is the thing. There's more liquidity. That's why I like it. That's why they can offer such wide trading pairs as far as the leverage for people that like it. The ones that don't have as much of a liquidity pool, you'll notice they only offer 50x leverage. They just don't have enough assets to back. Anyhow, so I love it too. So that's in the video description below and/or pinned comments. So make sure if you're looking to get ahead of these drops and you have something on during the high times of volatility, get on BITUNIX. And if you're looking for the Pika Moon, that's on MEXC right now. As I said, we're going to look over this, and this is going to be our sleeper bag here down the road. It's just, you shouldn't be too excited yet. Like I said, I wasn't going to talk about it until 50% down. We hit it today, but that's only because that means the next drop could be the real drop. And if we come somewhere below 1 cent, or 1 cent, down to the 3 digits, let's say. Once we hit that 3-digit mark, or this uptrend, I'm going to be very excited to start dipping. So, yeah, somebody said sweet voice, Julie. Did you hear Bitcoin price on BitMEX exchange fell to 9.8K for 3 minutes? I did not. That is not a good sign. If that's happening on Bitfinex, get the hell out now. That means they have a lack of liquidity to sustain the sales. And then what brings it back up is printing USDT. 8.9K. See, that's a problem. That's a problem. No, don't be sorry, Julie. You're okay. Oh my God, it went to 18 cents on that exchange. Talk about the outright liquidity. What exchange was that again? I need to see that comment. Bitfinex. I think that happens to be one of the charts I use on XRP. Oh no, I think I took that one down for now. But I can definitely pull that one up. I used to use a Bitfinex chart for XRP. I had, oh no, it was a Bitstamp chart, my bad. I want to see that on Bitfinex. Whoops. If it was on there before, it's not showing it now on Bitfinex. Oh, BitMEXC. BitMEXC. Because we've seen this before. And remember I showed a drop on an asset before, and we were talking about it the whole day, and then the next day they acted like it never happened on the exchange. I don't remember what exchange that was, but we had an issue where that happened to us. And yeah, so anyhow, let's get back into this though, because we're running long here. I understand it's running long in the tooth, but we have 180 people here, so we're all having a good time. And we're trying to figure this out. XRP market cap right now is at 32.12 billion. And again, it looks like a head and shoulders pattern. Can't help that. And now we need to see if we can form some kind of double bottom. I'd feel real good if this came to 31.1 and it held that double bottom. There could, at least we're getting back, and not even as fast as I wanted though. The RSI still isn't getting back. That's fine. This is still not getting back up there quick enough. Like we need a volatile move. And the fact we couldn't hold that 50 level, and I got it in percentages for some reason, shows how much I really care about the RSI, but it at least gives you a directional tug of the technical trader. But this don't look good to me. We finally got out of that ascending formation, then we just get rejected by the overall pattern that we continue to get rejected by. You know? So at least we've had this drop today, so the pain today is in. The pain for today's cycle is in. Now we have to see if they're going to take a step 2 tomorrow, or we're going to have a consolidation day like we often do. But the good news is for today, the pain's over. We only got 15 minutes left now. But the pain is over for now. In 16 minutes, it could make you think different. But guys, that's why, and gals, that's why I also say when you're an XRP, if you have a speculator's mind, don't be afraid to speculate. There's a reason I have other assets. There's a reason why I'm letting my mind go to the Pika moon. You know, because I think there's I like speculation. I like when people are getting excited, and I like when a lot of people are starting to sign. There's only 25,000 people on that Twitter right now. There's only 1,800 people that follow those followers on YouTube, and I'm one of them. So.
And who doesn't like Pikachu?
And yeah, who doesn't like Pikachu, Julie said. And, you know, the game's on the App Store now, so we'll see.
And it was the best cartoon.
Exactly.
Well, Pokemon.
And then they went to the moon, or outer space. But right now we're in what looks to be a falling formation. This is actually a bullish reversal setting up for Casper at some point, if we can stay in this rotation. But Casper, I'm expecting it to come down here. If everything moves down, I'm expecting Casper down at about 3.3. We already mapped this out. We went to resistance. See, this is why it's so important, technical analysis. I know some people be like, oh, technical analysis, blah, 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 blah. And I get it. But with Casper, if you understood support, resistance, now you know support is way down here when you got rejected. Yep. So if you're a swing trader, if you're a leverage trader, you better understand these dynamics. Like once you got here and you got rejected that second time, that's calling for about a 34% drop within the formation. We can't help that. But if there's trading bots, that's what happens. Now, the other thing about this rotation is with Casper is if we get into this and we don't break out, again, we got problems. But I like the fact we're in a downward consolidation leading into this ascending consolidation, or at least this little bit of contracting triangle, if you want to call it. But it's ascending. You're having higher highs and lower lows, and this should eventually breach to its next break. The only thing I ever watch is if they overzealously do this. Yeah, I know. I never did Pokemon either, to be honest. I never played the games either or watched any of it. But I know there's a population that's out there. But that's where I would be expecting it if we had some kind of pull out. Without protection, so to say. Because after this, you got no protection until you fill out the technical move. Actually, it's lower than I thought. Oh my God. See, this is what I'm saying. If we fall out in crypto, I'm telling everybody, fuck me. Something is not right here. If crypto falls out, we're going to be much lower than where we started because of Bitcoin. I'm telling you right now, we might have to make some serious decisions here in the next few days if this plays out. I'm being honest with everybody. Because if there's a scenario that's going to play out, and let's say XRP is going to fall to like 5 cents, I am not sitting in that drop. You know, if I see that playing out, I'm not sitting in it. I am a gamer. I am a gamer. In fact, I spent too much time on Fortnite because of my 12-year-old nephew. He forced me to start playing it. And in the OG season, I went and played it again. And I actually kind of liked it. And I like third-person gaming. So, fuck me. We got to talk. We got to talk. We got to talk. I almost feel like we need to talk here now. We're going to look through a grand scale of prices because I do have a number. Yeah, see, fuck, man. I'm telling you right now, if these break to the downside, it's setting up a big, big, big transformational shift here where we're going to... Fuck. Yeah, look at that. That's right down to 2-2 again. Just from where we're at right now on this breach. See, everybody's got to make a serious decision here. If you're looking to secure, that's another 40%. Oh, my God. Yep. UK Phil, yes. Dude, UK Phil. Seriously. On PS5, I have ISO-20022 is my gamer tag. Kid you not. ISO-20022. That's me. So I'll play. I'm actually rather good at it. I can play no build or build. In build mode, I got up to diamond last season. I know. And then in no build, I'm even better. But I'm actually getting my nephew's in Unreal just to tell you how good he is. So he always makes me look so bad. So anyhow. But yeah, if anybody plays, that's my name on PS5. Please add me. I would love to talk to other people besides 12-year-olds. ISO-20022. Hey, Saggy, welcome in. Thank you so much for having a first-time comment here. But guys and gals, are we seeing what we're seeing here? And I'm telling you, they're not going to just hit us right away if this happens. Watch. Watch. They might hit us with an 18% pump here to get this confirmation here again for a third time. If we get a confirmation rejection there, we have to make a very serious decision. If we fall out and get a rejection here, very serious decision, folks. No. That's not, no. But Bitcoin, let me just be honest and transparent with everybody. 59,984 we have to stay above. Because that's the technical drop on the fallout of this rising channel setup. Yeah, 61,000 would be great, I agree, because then that would just be an expansion below 62.8 for a little bit of the supply zone. We would really you're right. We would benefit from not losing 61 at all. I actually agree with you. Because then we could put in a nice W reversal here potentially and avoid the next, retest of that 59.9. That's substantial though. That you can't lose it. Okay. So the reason why I say this is substantial and you can't lose this area, you cannot lose. This is where this channel started. You can't lose that. You can't lose this. You can't. You come up, you correct down, and then you start building back up in a proper fashion. That's oftentimes where you get that V-shaped recovery. You have this rising channel, pushing highs, shakeout retail, V-shaped recovery, right? Actually, it's right here. V-shaped recovery if you hold it. That's what happens. But if this plays down in a bad fashion, oof. I used to be PC many moons ago, my friends. Many moons ago. Yep, we're still above critical lines, so that's what I'm saying. We're not to that point yet. Yet. But there's going to come a collaboration point where if you have to sell out at 50 cents, which seems crazy, if it is signaling a monumental shift, well, yeah, then you take it, but we're not seeing that yet. That's why I always say I reserve the right. I reserve the right, you know, to make a decision later. But can I tell everybody something? I can't thank each and every one of you enough for sitting in here and listening to me ramble day after day. Yesterday, we hit a record, and obviously, you know, we had some motivation yesterday. Some people did join, but we had 406 people here during the live. It's the most we've ever had. When we used to have days like today, we might get 50 people in here. Now we have 188 people here, an hour and 20 minutes into the live, who have managed to listen to me talk and not get bored. Like, the amount of gratitude and just humbleness I feel with the audience. A lot of people ask me, Tom, why do you come on every single day without a break? We can manage one day. I can't manage. Julie knows I can't start my day without doing my update. It's the first thing I do when I get myself up and going is I do an update for 25. Today was 27. And like, I haven't missed a day, guys, since my anniversary here on YouTube, just so you know, is March 30th of this month, is 3 years. It'll be my 3-year anniversary here on YouTube. I have never missed a day. Never. And last year I broke couple bones in my hand, part of my forearm and fingers, and I was still here on the very day I did it and the next day. And everybody got to see when my face was all smashed in against the, you know, and you all seen it last year. But that's because we're building something here, and that keeps me on my toes too. But if I wasn't here every day, would I be able to see what's about? This is a 40% chance now. 40% chance that we have a historical drop thanks to Bitcoin's ETF launch and culminating with the Bitcoin halving. 40% chance. Because I don't think XRP can sustain a 30% drop here in Bitcoin and not come down a crazy amount. Just like the rest of crypto. Like, look at this, what it formed. Like, it's really formed some bullshit here. Like, if you thought this was bad, forget that. You want to see what this all expanded into? That's the consolidation that we wanted. This is the consolidation we're getting. You can't even really start here because that was... No, you have to start here. Because you actually came up, top, boom, back up again, top. But look what we're actually building. And like, don't shoot the messenger. I always tell people when I start to see things quickly, don't shoot the messenger. I'm often weeks ahead, right? I'm often days and weeks ahead. Okay, well, guess what? If this ascending this for all intents and purposes looks like it's ascending on the higher lows, descending on the lower highs. If we come up here and get rejected at 1.5 and then we come back through, do you know what that is telling us? Even if we just come through, but I feel like they would have to give you a short term like 18 to 20% pump to make you feel good here. But you never know. If we fall through this, I mean, look at this. It's back below my buy-in. You know, so fuck me if I would be willing to sit through that. No. I'll take my 100, well, in this case, I'll take my 80% and run. Oh, Grayscale definitely selling off Bitcoin for sure. So, I mean, what do we think, folks? Do we think we're actually going to fall out of these ascent? Look at this. It's here, too. Holy fuck. I mean, I don't even know how you look at this, but if this is what Zill's trying to tell us because of the low today, I mean, I'm telling you, that's telling us what it is. That's confirmed. We having a close in 2 minutes. That's confirmed. This is... We got one chance. We got one chance here. This is going to get ugly. This is going to get ugly if this doesn't break. Oh, man. But it could be a reversal, too. See, that's what I'm saying. As long as we don't break these big formations in a huge way. But I'm not. You haven't got the signal yet that everything can come unglued. We're just trying to see some. We're just going to hypothetically, just in case. But remember, everything has an opposite reaction. Oh, my. And look where we're at on the RSI. The RSI is just in neutral right now. If it... You know me, guys. I don't just look short term. We're about to get some... It's all in front of us. It's all in front of us. This is all in front of us. It's what we're mapping out, brother. Like Hogan would say, well, you listen to me now, brother. These sons of bitches. These son of a bitches. This is how they're going to do it. This is how they're going to do it. They're going to get everybody on a hook because Bitcoin ran so far past all-time highs and they're just going to drop the house on us. Look at this. If we get a real breakdown here, I mean, come on now. It's everywhere. Now it's glaringly in my freaking eyes. Now I can't not see it. God. Yep. It sure is. This is the perfect play by the bigger guys. I'm telling you, this isn't good. You know, this feels just like when I realized in 21 that we failed. Fuck. Well, you don't have to do anything yet. We have a grace period right now because now we have to trick everybody. Like I said, if you see a quick 10 to 15% pump here, we come up to those resistance walls, and it looks like there's no volume to be had. Just get ready. Bend. I mean, you might as well just... I'm going to make a very, very hard decision here. I gotta go find a lighter. I'm not selling yet, obviously. Oh, it's more than just hold and accumulate, my friend. This is one of those scenarios where you have to make the right decision in bear and bull markets where you can turn a bear market into a $1 million bull market run. We're at that crescendo point right now again. Fuck. Okay. So this is the most important rebound right now that we've seen since 21. Call it for what it is. So I'm going to focus a little bit different. I'm going to also put the target here for my first buy for anybody who's watching. I mean, nobody says you can't put a small amount here just to start. You know, just so you can get your feet wet. So you have something at stake. But accumulate down to 1082. But look at that. It's like no matter where I look now, but like I said, at least for a moment, you're going to be able to see a little bit of green here, remember? So at least for a minute, we can take a breath. Hopefully, I let it run up here for a second so we can see what the hell's going on. So in the chat right now, we have 192 people here. Do we feel like a historical dump's coming of 50% or greater? I'm just being honest. Are we about to have a big crash here? And right now, my portfolio is still well over 1x. Even after selling out AMP and everything. Obviously, remember how when we were about to have the pump, I said we're seeing these descending formations, and it was so confident because a descending consolidation and a falling channel or a descending trend. These are bullish reversals. Now we're seeing that same ascending formation now. Ascending continuation patterns are not exactly what you want because the likelihood of continuing out of them, it starts to break by the day. Bondito, thank you so much for the $9.99 donation. I zooming out, big picture, bro. Refuse to be shaken. No. It's not no. It's not about being shaken out. I'm saying, is there going to be an opportunity where you'd be able to wholesale and then within a matter of the next drop, you could buy it 50% cheaper? That's not getting shaken out. That's taking advantage of an opportunity that doesn't come along very often. But yeah, I've zoomed out all the way as well, and that's how I know that 38 cents is very much there. So again, if you can go from 58 to 38, it would make sense if you want to reposition and have money in your pocket. I'm outside of a year now with XRP, you know, so, but not that, even if I wasn't, when you get opportunities where you see the entire market, it's different. This is different. If it's an entire market-wide orchestrated by Bitcoin, it's different. Because now that we've come all the way out here with what Bitcoin's done, Bitcoin generally dumps after, I mean, and when you dump from a wave, the length of this, you should, it's so hard to explain it all in one breath, but let's put it the bottom line here. Bitcoin right now, you know, by it not passing up here, and it's come down a lot. That's what I'm saying. You're going to have some kind of correction if there's going to be a bigger drop. But Bitcoin so far at 73,700 has only come down 15%. History says in this same kind of rotation, it comes down 32 to 40%. That's what I'm saying. If it's only 15%, and all of a sudden Bitcoin's sitting here somewhere between 50,000 and maybe, let's put it this way. If Bitcoin's sitting somewhere between 38 and 42,000, but that's why we always say, are you going to be a bag holder or are you going to take advantage? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is one of those cases where if some of these support walls, if you want to be a warrior in that XRP, you're like, I don't know what to do. If 50 cents gives way and it shows no sign of holding, if that handle breaks, it's an equal or progressive move. This was my biggest fear on this rally. Like, thanks a lot, Bitcoin. Thanks a lot, Bitcoin. I would have rather just this whole pattern just played out slow like it was. Let us build into utility in the end of the court case. and for all of crypto to build this properly, because now I can't unsee what I'm seeing. It's just, it can't happen. I can't. Because this obviously is rotated now. This has just become a disaster for a second. But like we said, you don't speak with emotion. You let the pattern do. But obviously, with this kind of a consolidation, we're going to get a hefty rebound here. So if I was going to wholesale, I wouldn't be doing it until that first hefty rebound, obviously. But I'm not at that point yet. I'm just saying something we've got to keep our eyes open to is all. Or you just buy more, ladies and gentlemen. It's just some people like to have money in the pocket and then buy more, and then they have that much more to expand into things they never thought possible. There are opportunities that present themselves in the market. You know? So that's the thing. Lee, it is why you have cash. See, but this is a philosophy. This is the same. It's all about if you, yes, you have cash on the sidelines for a reason. But I'm just telling you, in a game of sudden movements, sometimes if you can spot that big drop before it happens, and then you cut to 50% savings and you take your profits and all of your money out along the way, because who knows if it's just a 50? What if something happens along the way and we go to war? What if something happens and we have a recession within the dollar and all of a sudden it becomes a little more difficult for exchanges? What happens when the first big exchange falls over? What happens when BlackRock keeps selling? What happens when there's so many scenarios? So it makes me feel like now a lot of people are talking and everybody's buying the rally. It's like now that more people are excited, it's like now I'm losing interest. I feel it at a more minute level than most, even in my own personal life. So I'm not watching this to say I'm selling it right now. I'm saying I'm looking to see if there's a sudden opportunity where all of a sudden we get smacked and there's about to be a 50% drop, but I see it coming. If that's the case, I'd be a fool not to sell everything. But I don't see it happening. I'm just saying there's something forming here with the ascending formations that could make it plausible now. That's all. Like I always say, don't shoot the messenger. Wouldn't you rather know than not? So you can make a decision. If you have the funds and you don't want to sell, then you just buy more. But something's not adding up here. That's all. Something's, and with all the whale sound, something's not adding up right. To the stock market, I mean, not really. Not really, but, you know, not really, but it could. It is somewhat correlated. Only because they both kind of move parabolic in the same. Yep, that's right, Jordan. That's what I'm saying. There's going to have to be some kind of, that's why I'm saying we should get some kind of bounce here. So my line in the sand where I'm like, okay, if we're really going to have a universal huge breakdown, if it comes back up here, we got to find that, where's this formation right here. So technically, we're expecting a drop to here. So your retest you're looking for, maybe it comes down here and then it retests up here. You know, it might be the variety where it comes through and then retests here. And then you know, like, uh-oh. Or it comes outside of the, because technically you're not even going to get that confirmation. Now let me do another thing. Ready? Remember this November of 2021 formation? If you think the drop that I just marked is bad, consider this formation actually rolls over here. Instead of breaking out, and the entirety of this formation rolls over. This is what scares me. Not that drop to this other drop here. That I don't even really care. That's not what scares me. But what if this? What if this is more of the reality? You know why that drop scares me? You see that number? What trend does that line up with? This isn't to scare anybody. This is speculation if it happens. This would line up with the all-time pattern, ladies and gentlemen. And that drop, and that's going from way at the end. If it happened and we actually dropped, you know, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. I'm sick of I never buy the dip. Unless I'm forced to. I usually buy in at rallies, and then when I see a full-on collapse, like if this were to happen, I just wholesale everything, and I wait until it gets to where I need it. I'm starting to see everything I need to know here. You know, I'm starting to see everything I need to know. Yep, exactly. No, actually, you know, like the buying the dip for 6 years, that's where I wish you would have been in this community. I had everybody out at $1.66. After we got to $1.98, went all the way down to like $1.18, went to $1.76, and we hit a brick wall. I told everybody it's over. We have to wholesale. We were in at 47 cents. And now I said I bought back in at 34 cents. And unless something rattles me out of my position, I'll be in it until we need to go where we go. So, but now we're seeing something. We're starting to see something here, and it's not good. We've had several opportunities. You think it makes me feel good now that after that whole buildup for that June of 2022 formation, for a fourth friggin' time, we couldn't get past it? But what I'm saying is you'd be a fool to sell out until you actually lose this handle. Like, that's the thing. Like, they got us by the old Groteskies here. Like I told Julie one time, and they have us by the Scorseses. So, it's one of those, you know, and this, whew. Oh, Ripple dumped a bunch. A ton. Ripple has dumped a ton of tokens here in the last few days. Some speculate settlement. I'm not so sure. I get more vibes of 2021 right now. The only good thing right now is XRP in the monthly. That is a huge inverted hammer. Right? I mean, if we don't lose this, it would be great. In the monthly, we're almost done with this month. That's an inverted hammer. If the floor right now is 55 cents, we're in good shape. We are in good shape. If not, but the other good news is, you know, like, there's really no good news here. There's no good news here in this regard. I can't even spin it when it happens like that. But these were the Doomsday numbers, remember? These are the Doomsday numbers. I'll be damned. It's like I'll be damned. Every time we open our mouth, it's like we... Hey, you know, I had a revelation in 21. You know, we're having a revelation moment here in 24. I've often said that our main rally probably doesn't happen until 28 anyhow. Nope, nobody's dead. That's true. It's not just this market, though. Because I've been seeing something as well in my old friend B2 Gold. And this is what really made me think, like, what the hell is really going on? The only difference is, I mean, if that breaks, that's what I'm saying. If we're going to have a big market crash, like, even with B2 Gold, I've got my limit at 234. Because if it's showing me, look at this. This is even in commodities. You tell me what's really going on. We can't go negative, so that I went too far back. See, that's where I'm making it an overzealous reach, but this would be from, what's up, Julie? Okay. Yeah. So what is this really telling me? So at least that's in a descending fashion. See, the crypto charts got me all fucking with myself now. But there could be some blood. But look, you know, like I'm not blind here, okay? I'm not blind with all of this. As much as I love this, What if that's a left shoulder, head, and this just formed a right shoulder? And we come back to old consolidatory times, right? The history has done this before. So who's to say the history doesn't do it again? I'm telling you, something ain't right in these markets now. The only thing is something's going to have to move at some point when the rest dump over. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We got some big support lines across all boards right now. Yep. I'm running out of time here, folks. I know I've been on an hour and 45 minutes, but I got to get back to you know, this. All right, so no, nobody says, blow it out, Tom, and bog it all into Pika. I can't tell if you're being serious, Simon. I can't tell if you're being serious or not. But yeah, at least for this day, I think we're going to have a green day coming up. Like I said, when you have big drops, you should have a green day here. So we'll be able to talk about this in the days to come. This isn't something that's just going to happen overnight. And for this to even break down, in my opinion, what's one key thing? Remember how we said? So if we're going to have a big breakdown for the whales and everybody, we haven't gone high enough. Just my opinion. Resistance, resistance. Now, if we come through here and this formation gets rejected here, you know, maybe at 80, 82 if it were to come up and bounce off of this, then we have a big problem. That's where I could see it finally having that wholesale drop. But I still see us holding this uptrend here around 51 to 53 and then coming up here for one more big pull. I do. So, not saying we're going to go down and have this huge drop. But what I am saying is we got to start opening our eyes to the possibility. But right now we're good. You know, we should have a nice little, at least for the few minutes, we should see a little green. But this is just something to open your eyes to. This isn't going to happen today. Believe me, you're going to have a big tug by Bitcoin again. They're not just going to be able to sell it all out in a straight line. Believe me. Don't FOMO. Don't sell out just because we're putting something out there that could be on the horizon. I don't do anything unless it's justified. Right now, I'm very happily within my positions, and I have no doubts about not selling. The only things I sold, you all know, was when I sold the AMP and some of the other ones that ran big time, and they were just swing traders. So, but my other assets across the board that I always talk about, I haven't sold anything. Floki. And then I gotta get going for Julie's sake. If you guys do appreciate my work and all the time I put in the effort, consider joining Tom's Army. If anything, send one YouTube super chat per month if you want to pay it forward. But I want you really to take a look at BITUNIX. And I think it's cool how today we found a little adversity, but then we got to see what the difference is between an exchange actually going down and actual system maintenance that we've been known about. And the fact that even during the high times of volatility, they came back up within 30 minutes. It was a scheduled 15-minute maintenance, but I'm not going to kill them for taking an extra 15 to add the trading pairs. So, but that's just, I like the transparency. They always tell us right ahead. It's always sitting there in the inbox. So that's in the video description below and our pinned comments. And if you're looking to buy, well, I'm not going to just not show you it, but if you're looking to buy Pika Moon, if you're looking to look more into it, that is on MEXC, and that's in the video description below and our pinned comments. Just not in the USA, you can't use it. So it's not easy to find it on exchange right now. So, but I'm definitely looking at that. And I'm going to drop $80 into it initially, just to have some kind of stake. And then as it finishes the tug, then I'll go from there. Because then I can see if it's down 50%, my account's worth, you know, if I'm down $40 on that 80, I can see a starting point at least and see what the buyers are going through. But I believe when you raise $6 million in pre-sale, there's a reason for it. So, And not just that, it's the history of what it's all about too. It's not just, hey, we're throwing in a rope. It's you might actually have something there. So anyhow, real quick Floki, and then I gotta go. This thing's on a massive. All I can say with these meme tokens, it's fun when it's going up. It's a pain in the ass when it's coming down. This thing looks like it's gonna drop like a rock. But it's gonna, they always have reversals. Like right now, at least, it's had such a big drop that you'd expect some kind of pullback, retest. You never quite do know. You never quite do know. But my brain is fried, guys. So I'm gonna call it a night here. I gotta get going here. Thank you all so much. But just pay attention to this down here at the 200 day. If you lose this in the daily, well, I mean in the 4 hourly. Right now, the 20 day you're trying to hold. Otherwise, it might come all the way back down to touch the 200. Right now, your saving grace is you need to hold that 15384. If you lose that, you're coming all the way back down. And I mean all the way back down. You'll probably come all the way back down. I would have 2 targets for you. If you lose that, let's talk in a few days. Actually, I don't want to overanalyze this. I don't even need to guess it. I got the all-time formation in front of me. Okay, so your support area you're looking at right now, right there. If you lose that, more than likely all the way down there. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you all so much for the support. Have a blessed evening, but this is going to have a volatile swing to the upside eventually here. It's been too beaten down here. So believe me, there's an opportunity to come here as well. If this dumps down and you watch this, this is going to shoot back up to retests. Probably, yeah, you got a healthy rebound. Healthy. I don't know if it can get all the way down here. But let's say it starts moving up. You could have a real quick healthy rebound. Let's see what those lower time frames are. Yeah, to the 200 day right here. So you could have, like I've been saying, 16 to 20%. If we get those kind of bounces here, we got to have retests. So we could be in a moment here. Obviously, it does seem like it should come down all the way a little bit to that all-time uptrend before any kind of real bounce. But you never know. You never know. But thank you all so much. Have a blessed evening. Hopefully, we did more good than bad here this evening. If you made it until the end, hashtag